Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for tonight's coverage of the Thunderstruck SamAllyCo Late Model Series. Tonight, these late models will be taking on South Boston Speedway for 100 laps of racing action. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight's event. My name is @Manwees. I'm excited to call every second of tonight's short track racing action. Now, last week, we were at another Virginia racetrack, Langley Speedway, where we saw a first-time winner, Corey Bigley, at his first win of the season after leading 52 of the 100 laps. Finishing second was pole sitter Dylan Bates. He led the most laps of the race with 41. Third was Eric Tracy. Finishing fourth was Rick Rube. And rounding out your top five, that was Kyle Martinson, who led 7 laps. So, after the events of last week's race at Langley, we have a very, very tight points battle for the lead. Currently, your point standings leader is Eric Tracy. He has 1 win this season at USA, but only 3 points behind him in second. That is Dylan Bates. He has 2 wins this season at Myrtle Beach and Southern National. Third in points, 20 points back is Rick Rube. Fourth, 22 points back is Kieran Church. And rounding out your top 5 in points, that is Tyler Rice. He is 28 points back, and he does have a win this season. He has 1 win at Lanier. Other race winners that are not in the top 5 in points, Elliot Carlson, he got the win at Oswego, and Corey Bigley was your race winner at Langley. Now, I will say this, Eric Tracy is not in the field tonight, but he may still be able to remain the point standings leader if he decides to use his drop race. There is a drop race available. You have to request it, though. Yeah, the rule is that drivers may request drop points for 1 race a season per class where you get last place points. If there's more than a full field, the driver will receive the standard 10 points for a non-qualifier. The driver must let league admins know prior to the race. So I believe that's what Eric Tracy may have done. If he has not used it already, I'm not entirely sure. Now, I do want to give a big thank you to our series sponsor, SamAlly.com. SamAlly.com is your one-stop shop for great gifts. You can find a wide variety of artful and expressive candles, graphic tees, and mugs on their easy-to-navigate website. SamAllyCo also offers PC builds and repairs for those in the Fort Wayne area. Check out their website, SamAlly.com. Link is in the description for some great gifts. And the holiday season is coming up, which means buying gifts for family and friends, and so that is the perfect place to look for. You want to buy a candle, a graphic tee, or maybe a mug for somebody you know, something that you think they'll like. You'll be able to find anything you might desire on SamAlly.com. Now, currently, your leader in practice, fastest lap time, that is Corey Bigley with a 14.75. Last week's winner picking up where he left off. In fact, your top 2 in practice was your top 2 in last week's race. Dylan Bates is second on the board, only 300ths back with a 14.78. Third on the board is Kieran Church, 14.79. Fourth is Tyler Rice. And rounding out your top 5, that is Josh Oswald. We got some last-minute joiners, but I believe we will have a field of 11 cars, which was the field size that we had last week. We only had 10 running, though. So I'm excited. This is going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. We can quickly talk about the track that we are racing at tonight, South Boston Speedway in South Boston, Virginia, 0.4 of a mile. It is a mecca for Virginian short track racing for over half a century. South Boston Speedway today bills itself as America's hometown track with a length of just under half a mile. The oval features some of the best late model and limited late model racing in the country, and so the fans, they are never disappointed when race day comes to the South Boston Speedway. Host Cars Tour race, I believe maybe a Smart Tour modified race, and its weekly racing is always, NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series racing is always some of the best in the country. especially their late model stock car division. Always puts on great racing, and I would expect nothing less here this evening. So here we go. Qualifying is underway. Drivers will get 2 laps to try to set their best possible lap time, and that will determine where they will start in the feature event. There's Tyler Rice on track, searching for his 2nd win of the season. Driver from Cherokee, Oklahoma. Had a rough qualifying run last week, qualified 7th, so hoping to put it in the top 5 here tonight. And he goes to the top of the board with a 14.98. Chris Reese 2nd. And there goes Josh Oswald now to the top of the board with a 14.92. That puts him 500ths ahead of Tyler Rice. Dylan Bates 3rd on the board, about 0.3 off of Oswald. There's Elliott Carlson. He is also looking for his 2nd win of the season. Got it done at Oswego earlier. There goes Dylan Bates to the top of the board with a 14.80, putting him a 10th ahead of Josh Oswald. That'll knock Tyler Rice down to 3rd. A little less than 0.2 off of Dylan Bates. There's Aaron Ward, currently 6th on the board. Gains about 300ths on his 2nd lap, but still sitting in 6th. John Bennett goes to 2nd with a 14.89. That puts him 800ths off of Dylan Bates. Knocks Josh Oswald to 3rd. Smoking Sam Wetstein looking to see what he can do in his 2nd lap. 7th on lap number 1. And he will jump up to 5th. Kiernan Church to 2nd on the board with a 14.80. Came down to the thousandths of a second, but looks like Dylan Bates was just a little bit faster. It's the beauty of racing. It can come down to just the tiniest margins. So there's one last driver that's going to try to make a run at the pole. It's last week's winner, Corey Bigley. Lap number 1 goes to 9th with a 15.16, but he set it all up for this 2nd lap. What can car number 28 do? Off of 4. And that's 3rd on the board with a 14.86. That'll put him 500ths off of Dylan Bates. So all 11 late model stock cars have qualified, and boy, these late model stock cars are always a blast to watch. They're the newest late model stock vehicle that has replaced the old Chevy Monte Carlo SS. The car's late model stock is a 500 horsepower V8 roaring beast for many short tracks and mile oval tracks throughout the Southeast. The car has double arm suspension with coilover shocks and springs combined with the truck arm and track bar, giving it the stability, agility, and proper turning needed to get around the tight short tracks and wider mile oval tracks with relative ease. The car also features a 4-speed manual transmission with 475 foot-pounds of torque, giving it some serious muscle out on the track. It's one of the newest oval car additions to iRacing, where it was released last year, and boy, was it a great addition. Arguably the most popular short track car on the iRacing platform. Great decision that iRacing made by adding and updating their late model stock cars. And so much attention to detail was put into them. I'm sure Dale Earnhardt Jr. played a big part. Dale runs a lot of late model stock car races in real life. He will actually be running, not this weekend, but the following weekend at Florence Motor Speedway for the South Carolina 400 in his old Budweiser number 8 late model. So that'll be fun to see. But 11 cars qualified. We'll have an 11-car field. And looking at the lap times, top 5 is all less than a 10th and a half. I mean, the gap from first to fifth is less than a tenth and a half. I mean, top five, very, very tight. But especially looking at that top four. I mean, Dylan Bates, Kiernan Church, Corey Bigley, John Bennett. But looking at those qualifying times, you can make an argue for any of them. And just watch out for Josh Oswald, Tyler Rice, Sam Wetstein as well. You could see them in the top three by the end of this one. So we're going to have another 2-minute warm-up just to give these drivers one final opportunity to get their cars dialed in. Not many adjustments that you can make in this league because it is fixed setup. Only thing that these drivers may be working on a little bit is brake bias. And that'll just be tiny adjustments, either moving it forward or moving it to the rear, depending on how their car is handling. Now, did get a little sample size of how this track would go on Monday in the mini stock series, and whew, that was a wild one. I participated in that race. There was a lot of cautions. You know it was a crazy race when I finished second, but I mean, the mini stocks here are always fun to drive. This place is unique because there is that apron that you can utilize. You'll see it poking out there towards the end of 3 and 4, and then you can utilize it off of in turn 2 and turn 4. So if your car needs help turning, then you can put your left side tires onto that apron and it can give your car some rotation. A lot like Langley, where we were at last weekend. Right now, Kiernan Church on the top of the board in this warm-up. But him and Corey Bigley are both very tight with their lap times. Josh Oswald third. And there goes Corey Bigley to the top of the board just as we finish the warm-up, 14.82. Only 100th ahead of Kiernan Church. Kiernan hungry still for his first win of the season. Could come tonight. All right, the field is set. Let's take a look at your starting lineup, starting on the pole with a scorching hot lap time of 14.808. That's the 91 of Dylan Bates. On his outside is Velocity Motorsports' Kiernan Church in the 22. Third is the 28 of Corey Bigley. Fourth is John Bennett in the 08. And rounding at your top 5, that's the 17 Velocity Motorsports driver of Josh the Jet Oswald. In 6th is Oval Addicts' Tyler Rice. In the 6th, 7th is the 98 Velocity Motorsports driver of Smokin' Sam Wetstein. 8th is Jason Lottridge in the 3. 9th is the 09 of Elliott Carlson. And rounding out your top 10, that's Aaron Ward in the 99. And then rounding out the field in 11th for Highside Racing, that's Chris Reese in the 62. So 11-car field. Dylan Bates going to be your pole sitter for this one. But Kiernan Church on his right shoulder, he is very hungry for his first win of the season. He's been consistently in the top 3 all season long, but has not been able to break through into victory lane. Corey Bigley, Dylan Bates, they're looking for more wins. Corey Bigley looking for his 2nd win of the season, while Dylan Bates is searching for win number 3 and a chance to get back to the point standings lead. So lights on, the pace car are off. He will be making that hard left turn onto pit road. This time by. There we go. Pace car is in. Here we go. Green flag is out. Your late model stock car feature is underway here at South Boston. We see Dylan Bates quickly able to get clear over Kieran Church. Now it's Corey Bigley Church side by side for second. We see Bigley with the nose on the bottom. He's got a good run off of turn number 2, and he clears Church as they cross the start-finish line. Church trying to get this second place spot back. He sticks right behind the 28 of Corey Bigley. We see Bigley starting to extend that gap. Tyler Rice has gotten up to that 4th place spot, knocking John Bennett down to 5th. He is starting to reel in Kieran Church for this 3rd place spot. Got a big run off of turn number 4. What can Tyler Rice do? Looks slow through 1 and 2. Looked like Kieran Church just gave him that spot. So Tyler Rice has worked his way up to 3rd now. I don't know if Kieran Church is just dropping to the back to start saving tires, but Tyler Rice will move now up into the 3rd place position, and he is the fastest late model out on the track. Last time by, he ran a 14.98. He's reeling in your top 2. Watch out, car number 6 is going to be a big threat to maybe grab win number 2 on the season. He continues to get faster. 14.96 was that lap time. He is closing in on Corey Bigley for the 2nd place spot. And again, Tyler Rice just continues to get faster. Just got to be careful that he's not burning up his tires too early. Falls off a little bit there on entry, but I think he was maybe arcing his corner because he got a big run off of 2. But Corey Bigley doing a good job being defensive and holding off that number 6 machine. Tyler Rice right now looking to see what Bigley is doing, what line he's running. Looking for any sort of weakness that he can take advantage of, and maybe if he's doing something different that could help him pass him, then Tyler Rice is kind of looking for that. But so far, so good for Corey Bigley as he holds off Tyler Rice. At this point, Rice trying to reach the back bumper of the 28. He's got a big run here through 1 and 2. But still has not been able to do anything. As Corey Bigley playing very good defense, doesn't have anything to worry about in front of him, so he can just focus on holding off this number 6 machine. I mean, every single lap they're matching each other with lap times. That was a big run down the backstretch for Tyler Rice. There we go. Quick off of 4 there for Tyler Rice. He's just keeping on trying to build up a run. Both of these drivers with wins this season, they know how to get it done. Both of them would definitely love to be back in victory lane. And both of them, or Tyler, he's top 5 in points, so he's fighting for a good points finish here tonight as well. With Rick Rube and Eric Tracy absent, he should gain some points there. And he's 2 spots ahead of Kieran Church, so that should chip at the gap between himself and car 22. still has not been able to find any sort of gap or mistake from Corey Bigley. He's been pretty mistake-free, very smooth. Rice is really good on corner exit, but Bigley just pulls away from him on entry. That's what Tyler Rice kind of has to figure that out if he wants to find a way past that 28. What is he doing differently on entry that's helping him stay ahead? Bigley just has that bottom of the racetrack sealed off, and Rice just doesn't have a big enough run to do something down there on the apron. Currently a quarter of the way through this race, Dylan Bates is your race leader. He's got about a 1 second lead over Corey Bigley right now. Has started on the pole, led every single lap thus far. And really hoping that he can just keep this gap between himself and car 28. Searching for win number 3 on the season. He won the first 2 races of the season, but has been on a bit of a drought since then. Is tonight the night that he breaks back into victory lane? We shall see. But here are 2 drivers that are looking to stop that, Corey Bigley and Tyler Rice. Rice still keeping it close behind the 28. At some point, does Rice get a little bit impatient and try to start forcing the issue a little bit? At this point in the race, though, I feel like most drivers are kind of at 50% aggression level. They're just saving their tires, saving their cars to make sure that they still have enough to make it to the end. So that may be why Tyler Rice doesn't want to force the issue on Corey Bigley for second here. And just kind of ride behind him. And he's able to do so because there's nothing for Tyler to worry about behind him. Next car is 5 seconds back. But one thing that could change is we will have to deal with some lap traffic soon. So we could see Tyler Rice try to use that to his advantage. And every single lap, Bigley and Rice, both of them matching lap times. That time by Bigley was a little bit faster but not by much. Rice just continuing to keep it close. That time by, he was a little bit faster. But Bigley wanting to try to extend that gap. Elsewhere in the field, John Bennett trying to reel in Josh Oswald for this 8th place spot. It's been a rough one so far for John Bennett. Started this race in the top 5, has fallen to 9th, and he's trying to claw his way back up to the front, but first he'll have to try to get by Josh Oswald. Sam Wetstein having to play some offense and defense. He's trying to close in on Jason Lottridge for 5th, while also trying to hold off Chris Reese, who's trying to snatch that 6th place spot. Wetstein reeling in Lottridge for 5th right now. Jason doing a good job managing that gap and holding off the 98. And he's starting to get away from Chris Reese, so now it's really just Sam focusing on this battle for 5th right now. Rapidly approaching the halfway point in this one. Uh-oh, now Chris is closing back in on Wetstein. The battle on 2 fronts will start again for Sam. So from 5th to 7th field, very tight. The question is, who will make a move first? Will it be Wetstein on Lottridge or Reese on Wetstein? There's Reese, big run into 1 and 2. Looks low on the front stretch. He will dive it down. Trying to get to that left rear of Wetstein. Sam hanging on to it. But Chris Reese took a shot. Once again, trying to get there through 1 and 2. All over that back bumper. He'll drive it down. Almost making contact. So 2 attempts were taken there by Reese. Once again, he'll drive hard into 3 and 4. Trying to catch Wetstein up the racetrack. And he is able to get in underneath him through 1 and 2. He's to his door. Now they're equal. Reese with a little bit of a nose off of 4. Wetstein fights back on the outside. Neither driver giving the other an inch. Chris Reese hanging steady. There goes Wetstein, fighting back. Wetstein with the nose, heading into 3 and 4. And while this is happening, Josh Oswald is starting to reel them in. So Sam Wetstein may have trouble getting back down to the bottom. Wetstein still keeping it ahead of Chris Reese. But there's Reese fighting back on the bottom. Goodness gracious, what a battle for 6th place right now. Now Oswald all over the back bumper of Chris Reese, saying, hey, get a move on. Reese falls back a little bit. He's claws closer. Once again on the bottom. Just as Josh Oswald ready to pounce if either of these two make a mistake. John Bennett there as well. They're ready to make a move back to the front. And they've got this brick wall of late model stock cars in their way. Thought Josh was going to try to make it 3 wide, but now he's got John Bennett. And Chris Reese will tuck in line behind the 98. And once again try to make another move. Kudos to Sam Wetstein for hanging on for so long on that outside. He'll have to do so again as Chris Reese with a run off of 4 gets to Wettstein's left rear. Now to his door. They're equal off of 2. But Wettstein, good corner exit. He's getting some good drive off as he can just arc that corner a little bit more. Reese is having to pinch off his entry. And then right behind them, Oswald Bennett side by side. Elliott Carlson there as well. We got a gaggle of race cars. Wettstein falling back on the outside as Chris Reese gets by him. Now Chris Reese has John Bennett all over his back bumper. Floodgates open for Wettstein. He drops from 6th all the way to 10th. So now Chris Reese setting his sights on Jason Lottridge for 5th. Wettstein trying to tuck in line on the bottom. Elliott Carlson is still there, and we've got Dylan Bates coming up behind them to lap them. That's why everybody got to move on. They don't want to go a lap down. And Wettstein just going to have to concede that position there to Bates, who has now caught this big pack of cars. Chris Reese trying to run away with it here. And run away from Dylan Bates. Does not want to go a lap down. Neither does John Bennett or Josh Oswald. But it may be inevitable for them. There's John Bennett looking low off of 2. He'll drive it in low. Through 3 and 4, he gets to Reese's left rear. Now big run off of 4 for John Bennett. He will be able to get clear of the 62. Josh Oswald also able to get underneath Reese. Oswald has got the nose ahead off of 4. He is trying to escape Dylan Bates and try not to go a lap down. Chris Reese hanging strong on that outside. Not giving up that position too easily. Oswald still with the nose, a little bit squirrely off the corner. He's got Dylan Bates all over his back bumper. He slides through 3 and 4, still side by side. Both of them trying not to go a lap down. Bates trying to be patient. Oh, they make contact. Oswald loose on the backstretch into the inside wall. He clips Corey Bigley. And that will bring out the first caution of the race. So here's Josh Oswald side by side with Chris Reese, going into 1 and 2. We see so he just pushes up the racetrack, gets into the side of the 62, and just hard to get control over it. He doesn't want to get up into Bates, so he goes down into the inside wall, right up into Corey Bigley. Luckily, looks like the damage wasn't too bad. Sam Wettstein able to get through as well. Wow. So now 3 cars are down a lap. Elliott Carlson and Chris Reese were able to hang on. And John Bennett, they were all able to hang on and stay on the lead lap. We are officially 3/4 of the way through this race. Coming up on 25 laps to go. And with that caution, Dylan Bates is your race leader. Corey Bigley second. Tyler Rice third. Kiernan Church fourth. And Jason Lottridge rounds out your top 5 in 5th. So Bates, he has led all 76 laps thus far. But now this will get the field all stacked up behind him. He'll have Corey Bigley on his right shoulder, Tyler Rice on his back bumper. So this will be a true test for Dylan Bates. Lights are off on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back raining, and it's Dylan Bates, Corey Bigley make up your front row, Kieran Church third, Tyler Rice fourth, and Jason Lottridge rounds out your top 5. Pace car is in. Green flag is back in the air. There's Dylan Bates up through the gears, leading the field into turns 1 and 2. We see Bigley tucks in line into second. Battle is on for third. We see Rice has got the nose over Kieran Church down the backstretch. And he is able to clear him up off of 4. So now we look to the battle for the lead between Dylan Bates and Corey Bigley, but Bates is starting to extend that lead between himself and Bigley. Church trying to make it back by Tyler Rice for third. Gets into his back bumper a little bit, and that'll open the door down the backstretch. He's to his left rear. Now the door. Not quite fully side by side yet, but as he drives it in, they are door handle to door handle off of 2. Rice still with momentum on the outside. But now Kieran Church fighting hard on the bottom. 19 laps to go. The battle for the final spot on the podium. Rice has the momentum up on the top. Again, he's just really utilizing that arc into the corner to get a good run off. But he's having to turn the wheel a lot more, so it's burning up tires. Just trying his best to hang on to the position. Now Kieran Church with the run off of 2. And there we go. Into 1. He is able to get in front of Tyler Rice, putting him into that third place spot. Now Rice and John Bennett are side by side. Bennett with the nose off of 4. 15 laps to go for these two. Oh, Rice into the outside wall. That'll give some momentum to John Bennett. Not able to get clear quite yet. But as he drives it hard into turn 1, he is able to get clear of the number 6 again. Tyler Rice into the outside wall. That'll open the door now for Jason Lottridge to get underneath him. Geez, some front end damage on that number 6. Not sure how that got there. And we will have a late race caution. Caution flag is out. Looks like that was Elliott Carlson. We see here he is off of 4. He's got Sam Wetstein on his outside, Josh Oswald behind him. Drives it in deep into the corner there. Clips the apron. And he'll slide. Oh, like a slide job there. He'll slide up in front of Wetstein. Wetstein gets into his back bumper. And just sends Carlson around. Carlson gets into Josh Oswald. Both right side tires get off the ground for Oswald. Clips Chris Reese a little bit there as well. Here we go. Late race shootout. Dylan Bates and Corey Bigley make up your front row. Behind them, it's Kieran Church, John Bennett, Jason Lottridge. Pace car's in. Green flag is out. Can Dylan Bates finish this race off quickly? Gets ahead of Corey Bigley. Here comes John Bennett on the outside, trying to get clear of Kieran Church. Church keeping it on that left rear of the 08. He can't get down. But what a restart for John Bennett. He continues to have the nose over Church. Big run off of 2. And he will shut the door through 3 and 4, tucking in line into 3rd. Now trying to get by Corey Bigley for 2nd. Bennett looks low into 3 and 4. Can't quite get underneath Bigley there. So he'll have to try to keep working, and he does have Kieran Church and Jason Lottridge still right behind him, ready to pounce. All over the back bumper of Bigley. Big run, dives down into 1 and 2. They are side by side off the corner. They remain door handle to door handle into 3 and 4. Now John Bennett with the nose as they cross the start finish line. He's got the preferred groove on that bottom lane. But Corey Bigley fighting hard. Does not want to get caught up here on the outside. Bennett almost clear. And yes, he is able to get clear there. But now Corey Bigley can't get down. He's got Kieran Church underneath him. This is it for the final spot on the podium. Bigley with the nose into 3 and 4. White flag is in the air for Dylan Bates. Started on the pole, has led from flag to flag. He's been pretty much untouchable. Has survived some late race restarts. He will bring it off of turn number 4 and grab his 3rd win of the season here at South Boston. John Bennett will finish 2nd, and Kieran Church will beat Corey Bigley to the line, finishing 3rd. What a race we had. But Kieran Church bringing home in 3rd, John Bennett 2nd, Dylan Bates grabbing that race win. A fight to the end, certainly, although it wasn't much of a fight for the race lead throughout that race. So now it's time for driver interviews. We'll start off by pulling in your 3rd place finisher, Kieran Church. Kieran, this is Atlan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Well, good run tonight here at South Boston. Now, you started in 2nd, and you were running in that top 5 for a lot of that race. And on those final few restarts, you know, it was a tough fight between you and John Bennett and Corey Bigley. And you're able to get that final spot there from Corey on those last few laps, beat him to the line. You were side by side. So, you know, just walk us through that final late race run and just having to fight tooth and nail to break onto the podium.
Yeah, I was just mainly just trying to save a little bit of tire because I'm still not the best at speed and save. So I was just kind of making sure I had some tire because I thought there was going to be a caution a little bit sooner, but we went a lot longer than I thought we would. So that was nice to see. And then once I was getting up front with those guys, I was quicker than Corey because I know he said he had a little bit of damage, but on that start when he came down, I had to hit the brakes a little bit more than I wanted, and it just let Johnny get my outside far along that he was able to get by me, and just had to ride behind him and try to get Corey. But I know Johnny was fast because he super saved back there.
Yeah, now tire saving was definitely a big factor here at South Boston, but I mean, what was the key to just making sure you had enough tire there at the end?
I just made sure it was consistent with entry, wheel input. Make sure you didn't jump on the gas too soon because it's real temperamental here at South Boston. If you get on the gas too soon, it pushes, and if you catch too much apron or just get on the gas too soon with this late model stock, it'll want to jump sideways. So that's just kind of the best case that I've found out to just save a little bit.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Got to thank you for doing the race, broadcasting it. It's always fun to go back and watch. I got Jet Designs to for all of our paints. My teammates at VMS Velocity Motorsports. Then league sponsors, we got Flexible Freight Solutions, SamAllyCo. That's about it.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the podium tonight, Kieran. Have a great rest of your night.
Yep. Have a good one.
Thank you. All right, now let's pull in your second place finisher. He won earlier this week in the mini stocks. Now getting it done at South Boston, John Bennett. John, this is out in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome. Well, good run tonight here at South Boston. I know you won it in the mini stocks on Monday. This time in a completely different car. Also had a very good race. Did a good job saving tires. I know you made a big run up to the front there at the end. Were able to catch, get by Kieran and get by Corey, and couldn't quite track down Dylan Bates, but still phenomenal run, keeping it there in the top two. So just walk us through that race and just how you brought it home on the podium.
Yeah, in the start I wanted to save it a ton, but with how long of a run it had, it kind of messed me up because it forced me to run a little bit harder there when I was back in last, just so I didn't have that lap down. So tires weren't as good as I really wanted them to be, but came together, got a little bit of a run to get to second.
Yeah, no, they were definitely cool to see you get it done on Monday in the mini stocks. I mean, how did that race and your success there translate to tonight?
A little bit just with the track, but the cars were big time difference. And things are a lot tighter than these.
That makes sense for sure. Before we let you go, John, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Nope, none tonight.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the podium. Have a good rest of your night, John.
Thanks, you too.
And now let's go ahead and pull in your winner. Getting it done for the third time this season, Dylan Bates. Dylan, this is out in the broadcast booth. Got a copy?
I gotcha.
Awesome. Well, bringing it home for the third time this season. And what a dominant performance. Started on the pole, and just after that, you were untouchable. Ended up finishing with a 1.1 second lead, despite having some late race restarts. I mean, just how are you so dominant tonight?
I've kind of played the tire strategy game a lot this season, and it's kind of got me in trouble in a few races. So tonight, I just decided I was going to go as fast as I can, as hard as I could the whole race, and fortunately, it played out for me.
Yeah, it definitely looked like it. I mean, nobody could get anywhere near you, and looked like you had still plenty of tread left there at the end of the race. I mean, is South Boston one of your favorite tracks?
Yeah, South Boston's definitely one of my favorites. It's a lot like my home track, I-44 Speedway here in Missouri. It races real similar, so it's kind of like going back home for me.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout-outs for your win?
Yeah, just all the guys at VMS and Josh Oswald for putting on this league, and you for broadcasting, and just everybody involved.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the win, Dylan. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, man.
Well, again, one more time, congratulations to Dylan Bates on his race win. And, of course, got to give a big thank you to Josh Oswald, all of the Thunderstruck admins, for all that they do for this league, keeping it running smoothly. Thank you to them. And thank you to series sponsor SamAllyCo for sponsoring the late model series. Make sure to check out their website, samally.com, for great gifts. Holiday season coming up. Go buy some presents for friends and family there. They got a lot of great items. I want to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in to watch us tonight here on Intensity Broadcasting. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 1,000 followers on Twitch. Check out our Twitter page, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. And check out our web store, intensitybroadcasting.com. There we have a lot of cool merchandise for our brand, and we also do custom screen printing. We can do it for your business, your race team, any event you're having. We'd be happy to do it, so contact us if you're in need of any custom screen printing. Now, next week here in the Thunderstruck SamAllyCo Late Model Series, we will go up north to Stafford. So you are not going to want to miss that one. Always an exciting time there at Stafford. Normally known for its modifieds, but it also puts on some great late model stock car racing. So turn on that notification bell so you do not miss when we go live with that broadcast. I'm Matt Liatman, at least on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching.